Hello Davidson Fellowship Committee. I'm Jennifer Chernichenko,
And I'm Samantha Cluen.
and today we're going to be sharing our project, To Heal.
The process of becoming sound or healthy again.
We are both very honored that you guys are reviewing our project and just the entire aspect of what we're doing here today. We really do appreciate the time and effort gone into it.
Our project centers around mental health. We realize that within every professor or professional or student and any of our peers, we all experience depression, anxiety, grief, sadness. These are normal human emotions. There has long since been taboo sewn into this idea of mental health, mental illness, and mental health awareness. You see it everywhere, and we, with this project, aim to build a home and a community where people feel safe in their feelings.
We know that we always haven't really felt like we've had a home or felt like we really had a community or a family even where we reside in. And so I think a really big aspect of our project is that we were able to find just a safe place within each other, because prior to meeting Samantha, I realized that I had never really felt a true connection to anybody, in the sense that no one has ever really understood what I had been through, or at the very least I wasn't willing to share enough about my experiences for other people to be able to connect to me. And so it was through being vulnerable and finding a place within Samantha that I was able to come to terms with the things that I was feeling inside myself. And even from a young age, I had begun to write as a way of coping with my feelings without anyone else having to know about them or having to be vulnerable to anyone else. And so for me personally, the biggest form of flattery was letting someone read my work and see that part of my soul that I had kept hidden for so long. And so in finding out that Samantha also did the same thing, it just felt like a part of me healed and a part of my soul was just refreshed.
Our portfolio is separated into 3 parts: the poetry, the screenplay, and the short story. I worked on the short story while Jenny worked on the screenplay, and then we both collectively worked on the poetry. The moral, if there is a moral, of the short story was this idea of religion and how humanity treats it. This idea that religious beliefs should be rooted in love and connection, and I think that this love and connection breeds a place where mental illness cannot thrive at all. And I think that in our world today, we have not created that. I feel like we look at the people around us and we instantly judge them, whether it's based on their sexuality or their race or their appearance. We are very judgmental creatures, and I think that when you have this idea of religion, whether you're religious or not, whether you believe in a God or not, it should be rooted around love. I think if we challenge the way society as a whole looked at religion and looked at their own personal actions and morals, we would realize that there is a lot of revamping we need to do. Because I feel like right now we almost encourage this idea of separation and this place where mental illness is increasing because of that.
And I know for myself, reading Samantha's short story for the first time, one aspect I really appreciated was a lot of the religious aspect, because as someone who was raised religiously, I often faced conflict between other religions where for some reason we were taught to hate other religions for not being correct. But I think one thing that Samantha really excels at in her performance in the writing was that it doesn't matter what religion you belong to. It doesn't matter if there is a God, if there isn't a God. It doesn't matter if you have no religion at all, because at the end of the day, we are still unworthy if there was a God. Not because, us individually are completely wrecked, but as a society and as humanity, we have trained and taught so many immoral things that it'll be a group effort and a combined thing in order to change. In the next segment of this video, I'm going to be taking over to explain the screenplay at the end of our portfolio. I think between Samantha and I, we decided it would make more sense for me to talk about this and to write this because I have had experience in the theater community. One aspect I really appreciated was the way that you were able to really imagine and feel what it's like to be somebody else. And the main thing I wanted to portray in my screenplay was just the way that we all carry around something, you know, a little bit of grief, a little bit of sadness, anything in our past that may hinder us from fully performing in day-to-day life, just the little things that come and attack us and keep us from thriving. And I feel like as soon as we accept that and as soon as we stop trying to fight that thing and rather let it completely, we just have to surrender ourselves to that thing. And only at that point are we ready to grow and to begin to heal and find a way to be vulnerable. And in a sense, we regain our humanity.
What I really appreciated about the screenplay is this idea of acceptance. I feel like with any mental health challenge, the biggest thing is accepting that you have it. The first step to recovery is admitting you have a problem, like the saying goes. I think that that's something I really enjoyed about it. The whole, theme or plot of the screenplay is centered around accepting something that you have been carrying around for so long and finally realizing that with accepting and coming to terms with it, it helps resolve and you can finally take your first steps forward. The next part of our portfolio is the poetry part. This also is separated into 3 parts. The first one being anger. We talk a lot in our poetry about anger and just feeling very upset and sad of the place that we have found ourselves in, this mental illness that we surrendered to. The next part is sadness, where we realize that our anger is really just grief. Everything you're angry about origins from this feeling of sadness. From sadness, we move to love and acceptance. I think through any major struggle, it's important to have this community and this love that really helps you heal from it.
Both Samantha and I struggled heavily with our mental health issues and all of the different manifestations that it took, because it doesn't take one form, it attacks every part of your life. And we both felt completely and utterly alone in this struggle until we were able to open up to each other. And through the community we found in each other, we were able to truly heal and accept that part of ourselves and learn to love it. Because as I grew to care more about Samantha, I began to realize why I should care more about my own struggles and my own issues and why I should be vulnerable.
That leads us to the end of our video. The whole purpose of our project is to breed this community and connection. We hope, whether this becomes anything or not, we still like to push this idea of connection and acceptance and vulnerability. We hope people can look at our writing and our own struggles and issues very apparent in them and find a home and a place to belong. We both realized when we struggled with our mental health issues that we didn't really have that. We then found it in each other, but we realized there's a lot of people not as fortunate as us. So we hope to continue to share our work with other people. Sharing it with our peers and mentors as a way of review really helped us connect with them, and we realized just even more so the importance of having this tough conversation surrounding mental illness.